I have a weird fascination with the unconventional, seeking out the strange in a sea of standard. Whilst most look for older, uncorrected classics, there's an untapped realm of new, character-filled photography and cinema lenses, coming from companies such as 7Artisans, Mikey, Suri, and a little shout out to Lens Baby, who have been making niche lenses for what seem like forever now. Lenses that break the status quo and add that little bit of spice into a world filled with scientifically corrected optical elements, which remove all hint of difference in the race to create a perfect, sharp lens. One of these infamous elements that build character is flare. That is produced when hard light hits the optics within the lens and bounces around the barrel, cascading off different elements and producing hazy areas within the composition. In the past, these character building aspects would have been seen as ugly or unwelcoming. Hell, even coatings have been added to modern lenses to reduce or even remove flare characteristics from glass. Though, with every advancement in lens design, there will always be people that look for soft, organic, and textured looks. It was this factor, the lust for a uniquely abnormal lens, that would lead me onto one of the most unique optics I own. And like all good stories, this starts on eBay. Sitting in the kitchen, listening to music, and looking for a fast, capable 28mm lens for a Leica M240. Till this point I'd been using the Elmerit 28mm 2.8 version 3, which proved more than capable for my use, but I was looking for something a little bit more special. The 3D pop on the Leica was sensational, but the lens was always less than ideal in lower light settings, and to be honest, it always felt second best to my Zeiss 35 1.4 Distagon, which, thanks to its design, had the impression of 3D pop and a bright open aperture of 1.4, leaving my 28mm Elmerit destined for the camera bag. But then I found it. I accidentally stumbled across a lens that would change my outlook on photography forever. I would manage to buy a 1 of 100 prototype 7Artisans 28mm 1.4 spherical lens. These, as far as I know, were sent out to reviewers before the general release and was soon recalled due to a machined element within the lens, leaving circular scratches on the glass. Though there are varying reports of what's truly giving this effect, this characteristic gives the illusion and effect of a detuned lens. This manual focus lens is built like a tank and has a completely metal construction that admittedly won't win any awards for unique design. It screams ruggedness and quality. This thing is heavy and feels remarkably dense, likely the result of all 11 elements in 9 groups. Whilst it's on the budget side at around £500, the nearest alternative being the Leica 28mm Summer Lux at an eye-watering £6,000. Clearly, no money was wasted in the quality of materials used. Also, bonus points for the addition of focus tabs in the box. As someone that loves manual focus, having the choice to use one or not is lovely and something that I wish all lens manufacturers would do. Additionally, as with all 7R lenses for M mount cameras, you're supplied with a kit to adjust the focus for rangefinder coupling. Luckily, mine did not need this adjustment, so I'm lucky, I guess. Whilst the build quality is stellar, what cannot be complimented is the image quality wide open. There's no getting around this. This lens is not overly sharp wide open at 1.4, being that there is slight softness washed over the image. Nothing a slight pass in Lightroom cannot fix, and something some cinematographers might be looking for in their images. The softness is also complemented by extremely bubbly out of focus areas, which lead to almost square looking bokeh in the corners, which is unique to say the least. Though as always, this effect is extremely dependent on your subject. It's worth mentioning though that this haze across the image usually appears when either pixel peeping or having multiple people in the image, something that you might usually stop down to shoot anyway. Speaking of stopping down, another unique aspect of this glass is the characteristics almost completely disappear when you stop down to f2 and higher. It becomes pin sharp extremely quickly as you stock down. It's almost a dual lens in that regard, both clinical and characteristically charming. But if you're at all interested in the way it renders the world, shoot slightly soft but unique images at 1.4. So, let's finally move on to the reason I brought this thing. The circular lens flare that intrudes onto the image like a golden halo. It has an ethereal effect on compositions which draws the viewer's eye through the scene into the circle. It's almost like someone has highlighted the subject in post-production. Though, I would be remiss to admit that this can be an overused effect in images. To date, it's still a novel concept that's also inspired me in other image-making mediums. As recently, this lens has found its way onto my Canon C70 cinema camera, which has not only provided a unique opportunity to explore the characteristics of this lens on a Super 35 sensor, giving the equivalent full-frame field of view of 45mm, this optic has pushed me to shoot around its look, framing and composing with the optical abnormalities in mind. I'm reminded of the uncoated vintage lenses of yesteryear and the imperfections of Soviet lenses, such as the Helios series. All in all, this is not a perfect lens by any stretch, but this is the perfect lens for me, giving me exactly what I was looking for: a wide, bright, and unique shooting experience. You can experience 90% of what my copy of the lens offers with the reissued 28mm 1.4 and still achieve that bubble-soaked bokeh and a subtle circular halo. Ultimately, is this a good lens? Yes. Is it a perfect response to the modern lens manufacturers creating scientifically perfect clinical optics? Yes. Is it the one lens that I would use all the time? No. That would go to the Zeiss 35mm 1.4 Distagon, but I would always use the 7Artisans for adding some spice to my shots, inspiring me to create. But then I can comfortably say that this lens is in my bag all the time, ready to be brought out at a moment's notice when I need to create something different. Thanks for watching this video. I don't know if you've noticed, but this is my first ever YouTube video, so by means of introduction, hi, my name is Connor. I am a freelance camera operator and photographer in the south of England. If you would like to see more ramblings about lenses, cameras, and creating, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. I would love to see this channel grow, and if you have any lenses that you would like me to look at, please throw them in the comments below. For now, cheerio.